Hey everybody, it's Tori from Avalon Enchanted. So unfortunately, I wound up bringing you this week's Ascended Illuminations reading a little bit late. I had a really fabulous class last night with teaching on Hathor, and I just ran out of time with getting ready for the class. So I'm bringing it to you today for our YouTube viewers. As you know, if you're watching this on YouTube, then you get a little bit more detail than maybe some of the other things that I put out on Facebook, on the Avalon Enchanted page on Facebook. So a couple cool things that I'm really happy to talk about. We finalized our 2024 March and April calendar. So that is going to be printed and is going to go up. We have a lot of cool stuff, everything from introduction to the chakras, to Zoom readings, to violet flame healings, to ascended masters, and so on. In April, we have, we have daffodil days that are coming to the village. Basically, the 12th, 13th, and 14th of April. We have a class on the Divine Feminine. Cindy's teaching a really awesome class called Awaken in April, and celebrity table tipping is coming back, folks, in April 26th. So all of those dates for I believe for March at least are up on Eventbrite, so you can go ahead and you can book those dates now. The April dates are going to be coming up shortly. Hopefully they'll be up in the next day or so, and so on. So I'm still available for parties, both table tipping and tarot, and we are looking at some other things that are going on as well. We're going to be doing another Zoom Egyptian class, which I'm super excited about. I'll be meeting with Mohammed and talking with him on some of the details as to which one we'd like to do next. So with that being said, keep an eye out on Eventbrite for that. Keep an eye out on Facebook as well and Instagram for details on that, because you're not going to want to miss it. We have some great topics that we've identified. So again, this week is the Ascended Illuminations reading for Friday, March 1st. Yay, meteorological spring, through Wednesday, March 6th. So for those of you that know, I pick 3 cards from an oracle deck, and I do 3 separate readings. So since you guys are a little bit more in the know than what's going to happen on Facebook, let's bring in the Facebook people. So they also get a little bit of love and attention as well. So bear with me, and I will be talking to both groups. So I want to try voice enhancement. Okay. No. All right. So we're going live. I think I can put this here. Fingers crossed. Yes, perfect. All right, welcome Facebook folks, and welcome to people who are also joining us as a recorded video on YouTube. So as you know, if you don't catch the reading on Facebook, I do put them up on YouTube under Tori McNally, and you are encouraged to definitely check out the feed there. Not only is it the reading, but it's also maybe some different topics that we're talking about, or maybe even some other readings and things like that that might be added in. And I can certainly tell you there will be an extra reading today that's added in for the YouTube group that's going to be available later on this afternoon. And it's going to be a reading of energy reading forecast for the month of March. Okay, so people who are on with YouTube, you're going to be getting that as well in the recording. So I'm happy to say that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. For those of you that remember, I pull cards from an oracle deck. In this case, the oracle deck I'm using today is the Saints and Mystics reading cards. So we're going to see who pops up as wanting to connect with us and wanting to give us some messages, you know. We have St. Mary McKillop, which is all about life lessons. So St. Mary McKillop, life lessons. And I'm going to divide the deck. And we have St. Martha, which is all about authority. St. Martha, authority. And finally, the bottom of the deck. Ha! Seriously? Seriously. Harry Houdini. Not a favorite of mine. Just say it. He's not a favorite of mine. He's been on table before and kind of jerky. But okay, he popped up. And he's popped up before on these cards as well. So we're going to go with it. So your choices that you can pick from the 3 readings are St. Mary McKillop, Life Lessons. St. Martha, Authority. And Harry Houdini with a focus on mastery. So I'm going to start out by doing the reading for with St. Mary McKillop. So I'm going to actually use, I don't know if I've used this deck before here on my live, but this is something I usually carry with me and have on hand many, many times. Let me just make sure that we're all going in the right direction before I go ahead and start. So for those of you that are joining us on Facebook, if you are catching this as a replay, please do hashtag replay. That way it gives us an idea of how far the video goes. Again, I strongly encourage you to catch the replay on YouTube under Tori McNally because there's more content that you don't want to miss there. What else is going on? Today's the first day of meteorological spring. Yay, spring. However, the sun's out, but I know it's not going to be out for that much longer. And it's going to get rainy and it's going to get, it's still kind of cold, even by the water. It's still very cold with a breeze. So I should know, I just took the dog out for a walk and it was cold. I know I sound kind of a pansy about it, but hey, sorry, it was cold. Let's see. All right, cool. Those cards are going in the right direction. Let me also do one quick thing before I goof something up. I need to go onto here. Move that. Bear with me, folks. So what I'm trying to do is change this also over to my personal page as well. Oh. One moment. So how's the energy going? How's everyone feeling? I know for me, it has definitely been an interesting experience, energetically speaking. Not only have we had a Mercury retrograde, but we've also had full moon, you know, so there's definitely been a lot that's been going on. So I want to copy this link and I want to post it to my personal page. I like to try and hit as many places as I can. And I want to hit here, here. We'll hit here too. And post. All right, cool. So, yeah. Where was I? So energetically speaking, it's definitely been a little bit of a wild ride, I feel. A lot of interesting stuff's been going on. I feel like people have just been finding that like time's been speeding up. Has anyone else been finding that? I feel like time's been speeding up for us. So just shuffle. So I'm actually using my reflective tarot, which I picked up when I was in Sedona, reflective tarot. And the cards are kind of cool because they do have a reflective kind of hologrammy kind of quality to them, which I like. So I like to kind of keep these on hand. Usually I have them in my purse in case I do need to do a reading, or if I just need to pull cards wherever I am. So I usually keep these on me in my purse among some other decks. I mean, honestly, folks, if you were to basically pull the purses of readers, God only knows what people have. I mean, if you looked at mine, it's full of crystals and oils, cards, pendulums, and craziness, which I know sounds goofy, but hey, that's what I do. So having trouble with my tennis elbow, even with shuffling, is making my arm. That's better. All right. All right. So I'm going to pull. So Mary McKellop. So this is reading A. The nice thing about this little deck is that if you have a small space to work off of, it's kind of nice because then you have a little bit more to work with, which I kind of like. Which is kind of why I like to go with these cards. I also like to use these cards when I am asking clarifying questions. So sometimes I'll use a regular standard size deck, and then I'll use some of the smaller ones as a way of focusing on clarifying. So let's take a look and see what we got. First thing I want to mention is that we've had some stuff where maybe, ooh, hello, hair looks like all over the place. We've had some things that's happened that are definitely in the past that we've been trying to basically kind of walk away from or really make a decision about what we need to do and where we need to go. In the past is the Two of Swords, beneath us is the Devil. We have the Two of Pentacles crossed by death, which, as we know, does not necessarily mean someone is dropping dead. It just means the end of something. So if there's been you've been on the fence about making a decision, whether it be changes in relationships, friend or romantic, changes with what you want to do for work, different things like that. You know, you're going to find that you may be finding that this is something that you've been thinking about. And again, life lessons, you know, maybe it's something where you're growing and that other individual's not, or that other situation is holding you back. Ahead of us, we have the Hangman, which is definitely looking at something from a different perspective. But it also means, you know, getting out of complacency. You know, this guy is hanging, literally stuck in suspension. But is it self-imposed, or is it something that is out of his hands? Because you don't see his hands, you know. So my feeling is this is something that is kind of a, hey, you need to make a decision. You know that something needs to change. You know that you need to kind of get yourself out of that zone where maybe you're finding that you're just kind of complacent on things, and you need to get this thing moving. Here's the Fool, taking a leap of faith, taking a whole new step. Question is he leaping off the cliff? Is he taking a leap of faith? You know, that's super important. If I pull another card, I have the Four of Pentacles, which is holding on to money. Maybe it's also pushing you outside of your comfort zone. If you're someone that goes within, or you've retreated in on certain things that have been going on, maybe it's time to kind of say, hey, I need to make that change. You know, we have the Hierophant. Okay. And then we have Judgment. You know, this is the call to Jesus card. Something's got to change. So question is, are you going to make the change, or is Spirit going to make the change? And I know I talk about this from time to time, but this is something that's definitely very, very valid. We have the Six of Pentacles, which is all about don't be afraid. to lean on friends or family that are there to support you. And also making sure that you're in balance, in balance, in balance, in balance. You definitely need to be in balance if you've chosen A with life lessons and St. Mary MacCallum. Looking at some other things, we have maybe some kind of nostalgia going on. Maybe some things from the past keep on cropping up. How many of you have been finding that things from the past have been cropping up? You know, maybe it's been things that have been triggering you, or maybe it's been things that have been in your memory bank that for some reason are just popping up now. Maybe it's been one of those things where it's been a situation or a lifetime ago of something that happened. Maybe there was a trauma, maybe there were wounds, etc., that, you know, have been percolating up to the surface. So with that being said, what are you going to do about it? You know, here's the 10 of swords, stick a fork in it. It's done. Move on. You know, forward movement. There's the need for forward movement. And we have the Ace of Swords. Hey, Renea, we have the Ace of Swords, which is something that is really important because this is telling us that we need to not only continue to move forward, but use our sword as a way of cutting us free, as a way of saying, hey, I can release myself from all of this stuff. I know I need to do it. I know I need to make the steps, and I know that I need to be in balance. I do have support and not to be afraid. Now, the other thing is we do have the Knight of Swords, which is kind of charging in. So I am going to say be cautious with some things that are coming in. Don't make rash decisions. We have the Four of Cups. You know, to me, this guy is pouting, focusing on something that he doesn't have. It's all about what's happened in the past. Maybe you're rehashing things. Maybe whatever's that's popped up from your past relationships, past wounds, etc., are cropping up for a reason, and it's hard to get it out of your head. This is something that you need to kind of cut out of your mind and allow that memory, forgive it, and move forward. Okay, allow yourself to forgive yourself on it, allow yourself to grow on it. Again, the life lessons, you know, and focus on your growth. Focus on those around you that are there. We have the Page of Cups, you know, so emotionally, there's a lot of stuff that's coming in. You may find that this particular week is kind of be emotional for people who've chosen A, St. Mary MacCallum. Again, all about life lessons. So that's something that you definitely want to think about with if you've chosen that. What I am going to say is you are going to kind of find yourself on your guard, but celebrate the victories, celebrate the moments. You're also probably not necessarily, don't fool yourself is what I'm trying to say. Don't fool yourself. Don't say, oh, well, you know, I'm moving on and, you know, this isn't affecting me. Deal with it. Give yourself permission. Cut the cords. Move on. Okay. Focus on the fact that these are life lessons that are here for you to help you be your true, authentic self. All right. So let's take a look at B, which is Saint Martha, who's all about authority. Saint Martha. Okay. So let me just pull up these cards real quick, do a quick shuffle. And then we'll do the reading for Saint Martha. So yeah, we had an amazing class last night on Hathor. I am super duper excited, and I didn't mean to do that, folks who are joining us from YouTube land, and that's in the recorded video. Sorry about that. Anyhow, we had an amazing class last night on Hathor, and people that attended the class, we actually wound up doing it remotely because more people were actually remote members joining us than in person, which is totally fine. We definitely traveled to Dendera. We definitely traveled to the 7 Hathors and got to meet with Hathor and really understand what she's all about, how she differs from the likes of Sekhmet and some other things like that. but how she's also part of an aspect of Sekhmet. So it's definitely, if you happen to see us offering a Hathor class again, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. I was pleasantly surprised because, as I always say, what I expect to happen totally goes right out the window. Even with the meditation at the last minute, they're like, nope, we're going to do it this way. I'm like, okay, fine. So, B, St. Martha. So, even though the sun is out for the time being, like I said, it's cold, but I'm really happy because my daffodils in the back are slowly starting to come up, which is nice. Um, Kind of a nice thing to see. I saw what looked like little tiny violets in one of the neighbors' yards. It's nice to be able to hear the birds, to hear the songbirds coming back. That to me is always really exciting. We seem to have a ginormous bumper crop of robins this year, which I'm not surprised about. I happened to look out in my yard the other day and saw, I think I counted a good 15 to 20 robins alone. So they're here, they're in flocks. All right, let's take a look at B. The good thing is that we do have a fair amount of pentacles. We do have some cups, we do have some swords. But what I want to talk about now again is this is also very reminiscent of reading A. We have the Two of Wands covered by the Five of Cups. Behind us is the Nine of Wands. Beneath us is the Page of Swords. It's kind of like one of those things where you've been through a lot, and there may be some things that maybe did not work out the way that you've wanted them to, but you're focusing on moving forward. Again, the forward movement and getting out of the choppy water into the clear sailing, which is what's important. The good thing is that we have the star card, which is all about hope. Okay? It's all about hope. So you're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. You're seeing the fact that your shifts that you've made over the last few weeks are leading you to a place that is giving you more opportunities, more energetics to come in. Hey, Pamela, how are you? To come in and to allow for abundance to really kind of come in and take root. Literally, I'm seeing here the Temperance card. Look at the irises. To me, this is springtime. And the irises, to me, if you take a real quick look, they look like little daffodils, but I know that they're yellow iris, right? So to me, this is, okay, things are coming up. Things are coming in. There's a new beginning. There's a new birth. There's a move. So if you've chosen B, St. Martha, there's a move coming. There's emotional things that are coming in, but there's definitely a move coming. All right. Whether it is literally a physical move, whether it is a move for your job, whether it is change in relationship status, there's a move, okay? In the personal house, I'm seeing the Nine of Pentacles, which is all about you have a lot of abundance. You have a lot there in your coffers. You know more than you think you do. You're better prepared than you think you are. It's just one of those things where we kind of have to start at the bottom and dig in and just allow ourselves to kind of let things take root and grow properly. We can't rush the process of growth. We have to kind of let things kind of take their course, right? But the good part about B is that we're seeing the fact that we are shifting into calmer waters. We are making forward progress, forward movement. And some of this progress may very well be scary, but this is authority. Maybe it's one of those things where you're getting signals to say, hey, there's a life-changing event that's happening for you that you need to kind of address. Look at this, the Ace of Pentacles, awesome card, Ace of Pentacles, right? So, that means that things are good. You have a pathway. You have a pathway to success. And you have some lilies there. Again, spring flowers coming up. End of March is Easter, right? So this is almost like an opportunity for regrowth, rebirth. That's important, okay? That's what's really important. You have a lot of things that are here to help you. You have a lot of support. You have a lot of tools that you can use to help you with this forward movement. Question is, are you going to help yourself? Or are you going to kind of sit there and wallow in what happened or what didn't happen? The Five of Cups, I kind of nickname it the emu card. And this guy is focusing on what he doesn't have, but he has two perfectly good cups behind him. So to me, this is saying, okay, yeah, maybe what happened that put us on edge, that put us through the ringer on things, we're on edge about, we're on guard about. But you know what? We're finding ourselves in a protective stance, and we're finding that we're able to take this momentum and move forward. Right? And you're going to find, if you've chosen B, St. Martha, authority, that this forward movement is here for you to assist you, and it's going to be a positive thing. Okay? It's going to be a positive thing. So that is the reading for B, St. Martha. So now that it is the first day of March, I'm so glad that the groundhog didn't lie. I guess I'm gonna say. I mean, granted, yes, it's still cold, but it's starting to, the days are getting longer, which is nice. We're finding that, we're having maybe able to get out a little bit more, having a little bit more energy. This is also a time to really focus on self-care and taking care of yourself, not just physical, but emotional and stability and well-being. So make sure that you're eating healthy, make sure you're drinking enough water to stay hydrated, making sure that you are also getting enough sleep. That's going to be something that's important, I feel, especially for the next coming weeks, especially for March. All right. We do have the change of the clock springing ahead, which I believe is later on in March. I'll double check that later on, but let's take a look at C. What does C, Harry Houdini mystery, have in store for us? Again, he's not a favorite of mine. He has been on table. He is kind of a jerk. So he and I have kind of differing opinions. But the one thing I do want to talk about him is that energetically speaking, he kind of has, I don't want to say he's dark, but he has kind of a mysterious energy, literally mystery. And you need to be able to operate, you need, you really do need to address light and dark. So even though I find him jerky and I find him kind of dark, maybe that's why he's coming up. But mastery, making sure that you're really taking your craft seriously. I'm hearing standing up for convictions, standing up for your convictions. And that's pretty much what he did with trying to bust all those different mediums in the late 1800s, early 1900s, when the, what is it called? Basically Victorian times, when the spiritualist movement was in full swing. So I kind of understand. So let's take a look and see what we got for people who chose Harry Houdini C. So a lot of pentacles. That's a good thing. But interestingly enough, we have some similar cards that also fell in the reading for B, which I find very interesting. So let's talk a little bit about what we got. So we have the Page of Wands, who's all about forward movement, looking at things, looking at new beginnings, looking at opportunities, new growth, and there's room for advancement. There's room for growth. There's room. It's one of those things where you have it in your coffers, Now's the time to put theory into practice and do it. What I'm going to say is don't self-sabotage yourself. Okay? Don't self-sabotage yourself and miss out on things because you're like, oh my God, am I good enough to do this? Oh my God, am I capable of handling this? Oh my, no, don't. Just don't do that. Okay? Because you're going to talk yourself out of something that could be really, really spectacular. I pull another card, I got the Fool card. Okay? Leap of faith. Leap of faith. You know, trust that the universe is here to assist you. And again, as I remind people that, you kind of know that this is coming, you know what steps you need to take. And are you going to let the universe do it for you? Or are you going to basically do it and take the leap of faith? You know it's there. You know you have opportunities. Opportunities are knocking. Are you going to answer the door? Okay. Hope. Again, from the previous reading, hope. Page of Swords. Defensive stance. I realize that maybe you're finding that you're questioning yourself. Are you good enough? Are you capable of handling what it is that you're focusing on this week? Question is, why are you double talking like that? Again, that's part of the self-sabotage. You're putting yourself between a rock and a hard place. Again, are you doing this on your own benefit? Or is this being done to you? You have opportunities. Don't let them pass you by. Here's the Knight of Wands. Opportunities coming in. New growth, new projects coming in. Look at all those leaves. Look at all the leaves. That tells us that there's a lot that's there if you go with the flow. And if you fight it and you're so busy going, oh my God, I can't handle this. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. What if, what if, what if? Well, what if it turns out really awesome? What if it turns out and becomes an opportunity that is a whole new cycle? What if it's an opportunity that is very fruitful and very abundant? So flip the mindset. People who chose Mastery Harry Houdini, flip the mindset this week. Don't live in a place of fear. Live in a place of, yes, I can, and positivity, because it's there. Basically, if I pull one more card, I got the Nine of Cups. I call this the happy bastard. Nine of Cups. He looks pretty content, right? So is this a good sign? Absolutely. Absolutely. So those are some things to think about. So those are some things to think about if you've chosen C. Okay. So with that being said, that is the reading for A, B, and C. Like I said, St. Mary MacCallum is A, St. Martha is B, Harry Houdini is C. And if you're catching this as a replay, you can catch the replay here on Facebook, or if you switch over to YouTube a little bit later on, I will be posting this reading as well. And like I said, we usually will add in some things that aren't usually mentioned or talked about during the Facebook feed. So I encourage you to keep an eye out, and I'll post the link, and make sure that you like and follow us not only on Facebook, but also on Instagram under Avalon_Enchanted, and also on YouTube. So there's so many different social medias. We're also in the process of starting to work with TikTok, so you're going to see more with that, which is also encouraging. So be on the lookout for some things with that. Keep an eye out with Eventbrite. We have some great things coming up, and we have some great things that are going to be coming up, not only just in person, but also online. So I'd like to say thank you for joining us on Facebook. And again, I'm going to finish up with our people for YouTube. with a reading for the month of March. So that way you can get a little bit more. So both Tori and Cindy are available for readings, healings, as well as classes and one-on-one training. So definitely take advantage of that. So take care, everybody, and we'll catch you later on Facebook. Bye. Come on. Seriously? Sorry, folks. I had to pause the feed. Um, while I was finishing up the reading, um, which you were part of during that part of the ABC, I had our landlord call. So, when you see that flash across the screen, you're like, oh dear God, what did they want? So I needed just to take that quick call and call him back and just to make sure everything was good. And everything is good. Everything is great. We now actually have our new sign that we're excitedly going to be putting up very soon, and we'll be hanging outside so people will be able to find us. As you know, if you are in and around Wickford Village, if you see the purple flag, the purple open flag with the cauldron, we're there. If you see the sandwich boards out at the corner of Brown Street and on Spink Street, we're there. We try and be as open as much as we can, especially with the weekends. I know that the weekend weather has been a little bit, especially for January and February. So I'm really hoping that the weather speaking will turn a corner since we are now in meteorological March or meteorological spring rather. I'm hoping that things will start to kind of clear up and give us some really beautiful days for the weekend so people are able to go out and about and get out in the village. Certainly we have lots of different events that are coming up for the village. Usually there's something for Easter. So we will be definitely around, I feel, for part of the different weekends coming up before Easter. We also have daffodil days that I'm looking at my calendar. That's why I'm looking up, folks. So we also have daffodil days and a sip and stroll, which is taking place on Friday the 12th. But daffodil days is Thursday the 11th, Friday the 12th, Saturday the 13th, and Sunday the 14th. And there's a huge list of events that are happening for the weekend of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, kicking off with the sip and stroll. Again, we have some great events coming up. I'm just going to quickly read those, and then I'm going to do the reading for the month of March because I feel like, energetically speaking, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of strange energy that's out there. And this is also a little bit of a check-in to see how people are doing too, So a couple things I wanted to mention. Let's see. So Cindy's going to be doing readings on March 5th in the evening from 6 to 8. If you're interested in a mini reading, I believe it's $22. You can actually message Cindy or email. You can email at Tori@AvalonEnchanted.com, Tori at AvalonEnchanted.com, and I will get you in touch with Cindy to book for the mini readings on the night of the 5th. We have animal totems, meet your animal totem, which is all about journeying to the other dimensions to find out about animal totems and what animals potentially are signaling to you, and spiritually speaking, to help you with whatever's going on. We also have Cindy hosting a Violet Flame Healing Circle on Tuesday the 19th. And I am going to be offering a class on Ascended Masters on Friday the 22nd. So I really enjoy working with Ascension Magic, and I really enjoy working with the Ascended Masters because I feel that we have so much to learn from them. They're great teachers. And energetically speaking, you know, they're coming from a place that can really do great things and deliver some amazing messages. So like I said, March 22nd is Ascended Masters. Um, I'm actually going to be teaching a class on protection magic at A Touch of Magic on Saturday, the 23rd. So if you are interested in that, that's in Uxbridge, Massachusetts from 1 to 3 on Saturday, March 23rd. You can go to the A Touch of Magic Facebook page or the website that they have and sign up that way. Also, April, we have some amazing things coming in April. I'm going to be teaching a class on Celtic runes, the language of trees. So what does that mean? Probably people are very familiar with the Nordic runes. Well, believe it or not, the Celts had their own version of runes that were tied to the energies of the trees within the grove. Very Celtic-y, very Druid-y, a lot of fun. It's a whole language that you can actually learn to write with and so on. Very cool. So that's actually going to be Sunday, April 7th. Again, Daffodil Days, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th with a huge push on events coming up. The Friday, the 12th with the Sip and Stroll, and then Saturday the 13th and Sunday the 14th. I'll also be table tipping on the 16th at A Touch of Magic. So if you're interested, you can book that. Grab your ticket soon because that does fill up pretty quickly since we don't do that every month there. I'm also going to be teaching a class on Divine Feminine on Saturday, the 20th of April in the evening. And that is going to give us an opportunity to dive into the energies of Isis, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Kuan Yin. There's so much that we have that is coming out with the energetics of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And there's a real shift, or I should say a call for a focus on the divine feminine. There, everything has to be in balance, as we know, right? So that's on the 20th. Cindy is also teaching a class on people, I should say for people that are just in the process of opening up. So if you've been experiencing, I don't know, deja vu, an interest in just kind of exploring your gifts, finding out more about what a sacred path like what Cindy and I follow means, you know, if you're finding that you are shifting, if you're finding that your friend group is shifting because you're growing, spiritually speaking, you know, then this would be a great class for you. I actually have a one-on-one personal training available for that as well. But Cindy's class is going to be on the 24th, and that's a great way to get your feet wet. It's a great way to really kind of feel, okay, there's a lot more to this than what's going on, and I'm not crazy. I'm not making this up. I'm not imagining things. So definitely worth checking that out. And then two more things in April that I'm going to quickly mention that you're going to see on the calendar coming up for Eventbrite. Celebrity table tipping. We're bringing that back. We've been finding that we've had some really cool celebs that have stepped forward who definitely have an interest in the afterlife to give us messages. So they are actually going to be helping us with that on Friday, the 26th. And then finally, on April 27th, I am going to be reading at A Touch of Magic that day from 11 to 5. And I'm also teaching a Crystals 101 class at A Touch of Magic there in Uxbridge that same day from 12, I'm looking at, 12 to 2, looking at the calendar. 12 to 2. So if you're interested in that, I know that that is up on their website at atouchofmagic.com. So let's talk about the energy going on. We have Mercury retrograde. We are just coming off of a full moon, right? We have a shift that was going from the likes of Pisces into Scorpio. So we had water sign that is very much emotional, especially for a good part of the month of February. So we have this shift of energy as the earth is turning, as we have these shifts within the energy of the planet. We also have a lot of solar flares going on. That also affects us. And it definitely can make people act a little bit strange. It definitely can make a lot of our electronics go a little bit wonky. So that's something to also consider. But it's all about energy. We carry energy. Um, there's energy in everything living, everything everything of the plant world, everything of the mineral world carries a vibration. And for that being said, um, how we interact with energy is determined by how we vibrate. So with that being said, sometimes we might find that the energy signature that we're vibrating at kind of, I don't want to say butts heads, but maybe it feels different. Maybe it's pushing you outside of your comfort zone. Maybe it is just very different and it's just like, holy cow, I don't want to deal with this. This is harder than I expected. So, we have those issues going on, especially as we're opening up. This is something that's important to know. So with that being said, let's take a look and see what March has to say for us. Yes, I'm going to use a different set because those are hard to shuffle. So for those of you that might not know, I've been dealing with probably since the fall tennis elbow, which sounds very whatever, Tori. It flipping hurts. Tennis elbow is no joke. I've actually had to have injections into my elbow to help eliminate some of the pain while those tendons and so on have been healing. So I've been dealing with that, and that has actually caused some issues I'm finding with how I use my right hand and right arm. So things that I would normally not even think about doing, with no problem. I'm finding sometimes I'm having some issues with it. So that's what's been going on with that. So when I deal with smaller cards, it's stiffer and it's harder on my wrist and harder on my arm. I have to sleep with a brace at night in order to put my wrist and forearm in a neutral position. Because those are all things that, are affected going down the arm from the elbow, believe it or not. Moving your fingers can, is connected to that too. So, that's what I've been dealing with. All right, so let's talk about March. What's the energy for March? What's the energy for March? So let's take a look and see. Oh, we have the Seven of Swords. I call that nobody's winning, but I have the Nine of Cups. So we have a lot in, yeah, that's a good card. We have a lot that is in abundance. We have the Three of Wands behind us. We have the Two of Swords beneath us. I love this deck. This is the Lublin Tarot deck, and I love the imagery on this. I actually sometimes like it a little bit better than the regular Rider-Waite deck, believe it or not. We have the Sun card in front of us, which is a great card. This is new opportunities and things coming in and so on. So that's a good thing. So it's kind of like, you're going to find that there is a shift, and you're going to find that there is stuff that's coming in for you that is very positive. We have the High Priestess, and it's actually Ketterdwin. So we have the High Priestess. You might find that there is more magic coming in for you, more, I'm going to say, upgrades, more upping your bandwidth within the ascension process. You may also find that your group of friends starts to shift. So you're finding yourself being more connected with more like-minded individuals who are feeling this energy as well and are finding themselves in a similar position. In order to be able to discuss. You may find that people that meshed with, there's going to be almost a little bit of a split from some of these people. You're not necessarily leaving them in the dust. It's just that your growth, your energetic and spiritual growth is kicking in and is taking you in places that either you want to go or that you need to go in. So we have the Hierophant. This is something that's usually tradition. So you might find that what's been traditional might not necessarily be working for you anymore. The Eight of Swords. You may find that there are things that tradition that you're trying to kind of shift away from, but sometimes, that can be a little hard. So that's something to think about. We have the King of Cups, a lot of water. It's going to be emotional. When we deal with energy, especially when it's something that's new to us or we're not necessarily sure what everything is going on with, we find ourselves having those things where, we have to kind of plot our path within the water, within the emotional realm, So there may be things that you find that our emotions are coming up for you that maybe you hadn't thought about in a while. It could be that there's some emotions that are being triggered from past wounds. This is going to be something that's important to know. The nice part, though, is we have the Nine of Pentacles, which is all about abundance. It's all about making sure that you know that you have a lot in the coffers and that's available to you. And it's also about having, standing in your power and being confident. So when we look at these two cards together, you can navigate the emotional and you can do it with grace and ease and stand in your power. Okay. Let's take a look at the emotional house. Oh, okay. So that's the Fool. All right. So he's starting a journey. He's taking a leap. All right. You may feel like you're in uncharted territory, and that's okay. That's okay. Just work on your manifesting that spirit is there to connect with you, to help guide you for your highest and best. We have the Five of Swords. So this is nobody's winning. All right. There may very well be some things where maybe with some people you agree to disagree on things together, and it's kind of like one of those things where you go your own, you part your ways, so I do feel like that's going to be something that is going to come up for a lot of people within the month of March. And I also feel there's going to be a lot more of people getting out and about. I feel like there's going to be a lot more of people really focusing on transitioning into being more in tune with a community of like-minded individuals. Okay. So, and that's the nice thing about Avalon Enchanted. We have that opportunity for you. Page of Pentacles. So opportunities coming in. Look at all that wheat. Look at all the flour. This is something that's good. So opportunity is gonna knock for you. Again, are you gonna answer the door? That's what you gotta ask yourself. Are you going to answer the door? Or are you going to self-sabotage yourself? Are you going to purposely stay stuck with people around you that are not doing the work or have no desire to do the work or don't even know what the work is? You're going to stay with them and stay stuck? Or are you going to find that you make it your business to be able to connect and shift a little bit so you are able to feed your soul? I am going to be open and honest. We do have the Five of Pentacles. So there are going to be some people that may not understand why you're doing this, or they're seeing a change in you and they're not understanding why you're changing. Okay. There may also very well be some shifts with financials this particular month. So kind of keep that in the back of your mind. All right. If I pull another card, I do get the Six of Swords, which is going out of choppy water into the clear sailing. It's almost like if I pair these two together, we have a little bit of a hiccup, but we will be okay and we will get out of it. Okay. So what that's telling me is it's temporary. I also think it's the perspective in terms of how you look at things. So that's something to really consider in the back of your mind with that stuff. Okay. If I pull one more card, I have the Hanged Man. And again, are you gonna stay in suspension? Are you gonna stay as is? Or we have the Five of Wands. Are you gonna take control and fight for yourself? You're gonna fight for yourself. Are you worth fighting for yourself? You know, that's what it comes down to. Are you worthy enough? And that all ties in with our self-love, our self-care, our self-worth. So people who are opening up are discovering that their self is just as important as their commitments with other people, places, and other relationships. You know, if you don't have yourself covered, how are you going to have enough gas in the tank to help other people? That's one thing that's really important to know. And as you're opening up, you're going to find over time that, energetically speaking, your abilities, your skills, your shift in reality is going to broaden, and you're going to need more of a bandwidth to be able to keep on opening up and being able to interpret and work and ride this energy. So that's why it's important to, again, be with like-minded people. Find a coach that you feel comfortable with, that can help guide you through this process. You know, you can do it alone, but isn't it easier and a better ride if you have somebody that is there to help guide you, to help push you when you need to be pushed, to help, I'm going to use the phrase translate, you know, what's going on, and to help you develop your best potential. That's really what it is, you know? People are really opening up to a lot of holistic things. They're opening up to learning about what makes them them, you know? So this is one of those things where you have the ability to connect. If you're watching this, this means that, theoretically speaking, you're already connected to the 5D timeline. You know, we have the 3D, the 4D, the 5D, and so on. We actually have all the way up to, I believe, 12D. The 3D is, you know, the physical world. But the 5D is also the mental world. People who are opening up and finding the frequency of the 5D. So having some guidance to help you fine tune things, to open up even more, to hopefully get to a full understanding and comfortable level of the 5D and even beyond, because you're going to find that, you know, it happens that way. You know, it's not like one of those things where it's a one and done, you know. It is a lifestyle. It is something that you're constantly connected to, and you're constantly finding new things that kind of fit within this and open up. You know, for me, I'm finding that my channeling has been really taking on I don't want to say a life of its own, but it's definitely been getting stronger. And I have been immersed in a lot of channeling with some of the Egyptian energies that I'm finding are stepping forward for me, you know? So that is something that I'm finding over time. I have to continue to, um, it's like you exercise, you got to use the muscles in order to strengthen them. You got to strengthen the intuitive muscles in order to be able to have the bandwidth to be able to connect and interpret and make sense of the universe, make sense of these dimensions. You know, there's so much that we don't know. I do feel like there is a lot going on with the not only the political crazy circus, but there's a lot going on. I'm going to say um, on the two war fronts, there are going to be some things that come out that I think are going to be really, really eye-opening. That's going to trigger um, a different way that we look at what's been going on. Okay. So that's one thing to mention. I also feel there are going to be some things that also open up about information regarding what's been going on with Ukraine, also what's been going on with I'm feeling with Russia. Um, there are going to be some things that open up with um, what really went down with Navalny, you know? So I do feel like there's going to be some things that come out that are going to kind of put us in a place where we're like, really, you know? You're going to be surprised, but not necessarily, if that makes sense. So that's something to just keep in the back of your mind. Um, we're also going to find ourselves spending a lot more time outside, which I think is great, especially as the spring is coming into full swing and so on. But I do feel like by being outside, that's going to also give people the opportunity to be really grounded and anchored and clear. So they're going to be able to tune in a lot better. So walks out in nature are going to be helpful. Visiting any sort of favorite parks are going to be helpful. Things like that are going to be really beneficial for people who are waking up, opening up, wanting to learn, um, wanting to know more. Um, I'm also feeling that there are also going to be some things that come up with disclosure that it's going to be one of those things where you kind of knew about it, but you didn't, it was just the tip of the iceberg. More information is going to flesh out on that. Okay. More information is going to flesh out on some of the disclosure stuff that comes in. Um, but like I said, I do feel it's going to be a crazy energy. I do feel that time-wise, March is going to go very quickly. So I do feel like this timeline is speeding up. And I also feel this timeline is speeding up in a way to kind of put us in a different, if I say a different area or a different energy, that's kind of what I mean. All right. Putting us into a different energy. Not a bad thing. It's just one of those things to kind of keep an eye on. Right. I think people are going to find themselves really seeing different time slips. I think people are going to see that there may be some things where people are seeing more almost like paranormal stuff going on. So don't be surprised by that. And I also feel like there's going to be, I hate to say this, I do feel like there's going to be more people exiting the planet. So that's something to just kind of tuck away and know in the back of your mind. It's already started. Somebody brought up a very interesting point that a number of these people, whether it be for whatever reason they're sick, or there's something else going on with them emotionally or what have you. With these shifting energies and this shift into the 5D and beyond, not everybody is necessarily willing or open to go with the flow. And since we do have children, babies that are being born that are, for lack of a better word, already equipped with a better appreciation and understanding of 5D, and up, you may find that there are individuals that decide to selectively or electively take an exit route, but to come back so they don't have to go through this ascension process, which I'm not saying is the best thing, but it is what it is. So just know that you're going to see that happening more and more, I feel, not just for the month of March, but I do feel like that's going to happen. Honestly, I feel like that's going to be something that you're going to see over the next couple of months, probably into 2025, 26. Okay. Over time, you're going to see things like that going on where maybe you'll just notice that there's a lot of souls that are like, okay, I'm taking this exit ramp. I'm going to, I don't want to put in the work, which is really unfortunate because I'm a firm believer that spirit gives us what we can handle. I'm just going to leave it there. Okay. Some other exciting news. Be on the lookout for more, like I said, Zoom classes with Muhammad and myself. What we're going to be doing is hosting different Egyptian themed classes. So for those of you who might be wondering, who am I talking about? A dear friend of mine by the name of Muhammad Ramadan is an Egyptologist that's based in Luxor, Egypt. And he is someone that is very much in tune with the different tombs and temples there. Energetically speaking, he's also very intuitive. He's very open to energy and things of that nature. So what we are looking to work on is a partnership where we bring some of the different topics of Egypt to you. I call it the Bringing Egypt to You series, where we basically delve into a topic that's tied into ancient Egypt, tied into maybe some forms of like Egyptian magic, things of that nature. And we approach it at a way where we look at the historical value of it. We also look at the energetic value of it and the magical value of it, and learn to also tap into it in a positive and safe and healing and helping kind of way. So if that's something that you are definitely interested in, then you're going to want to keep your eyes peeled for that. So those are going to be posted. We're looking to do maybe one, possibly two a month. So we will be talking, I'll be talking with Muhammad, I think on Sunday. So we're looking to offer one for the month of March, maybe one for the month of April for the time being. And there's some other things that we're working on that are even bigger and better, that bring in a lot more technology, and maybe even some topics that might be considered a little bit, I don't want to say out there, because it's not necessarily out there if you look and see some of the different topics that are there about some of the ancient Egyptian sites and individuals. But you have the pure archaeology theory that you restore everything, and that everything is an ancient culture that was there. But then you also have some other theories like ancient astronaut. You have some other theories, ancient technology that might be tied in with other things that may be very different from what we have now. So, and my camera went really wonky there when I said that. I heard something. That's why I turned. So, with that being said, keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on YouTube for these videos and other videos. Keep an eye out on YouTube. I'm sorry, Instagram and Facebook. We're going to start working with TikTok, Cindy and I. Threads as well. So I'm also actively trying to post to Threads as well. So we are trying to hit a lot of the different social media things that are going on. So please remember to like and follow and share. That helps us tremendously. By you liking and following and commenting and sharing, that helps us with the algorithms to be put in front of more people. So if you would do that for us, that would be really great. As far as the studio is concerned, I know I have a party tomorrow night, so I'm not going to be available on Saturday, but I hope to possibly be in the studio on Sunday the 3rd. I will also be in the studio on Saturday the 9th. And I will also be in the studio. I do have some of my one-on-one coaching clients, but on the 10th, but I do hope to be in studio for that. So, we are trying to really have the studio open on weekends. When the weather's kind of yucky, it definitely makes it a challenge because we know that people just aren't walking around in the cold rain, So in that situation, if we know it's going to be kind of a yucky day, then we might be closed. But if you are interested in a reading with either Cindy or myself, please reach out. We are happy to schedule something. And if we're not open when you stop by, let us know. We're always happy to take appointments. We do also have crystals that are available for sale. We have tarot decks that are available for sale. I have my Moldavite oil as well as some other oils. I have my hand poured candles that are also for sale. With the candles that I have right now are Michael the Archangel for protection. And I like to use different energies with different rocks and stones and sands and things like that from around the world. Right now in the Archangel Michael candle, there is actually sand from the vortex in Sedona that's tied to the little chapel that's there. I also have Mary Magdalene, which also has energies from the likes of Jordan in it, as well as Egypt. I have one Sekhmet candle left, which also has sand and rock from some of the different temples in Egypt, and actually in Abdos. I also have a really beautiful candle that is the blue lotus blossom. So it's blue lotus oil, which is very, very infamous within ancient Egyptian culture. And it's actually tied in with, I tied it in with Moldavite. So those are some of the things that are going on. I hope to actually work on some more candles coming up in the near future. I think that's it. So take care whenever you're seeing this, whether it be morning, day, evening, what have you. Stay well and stay connected. Thanks again. Bye.